Hey everybody, it's Mr. Carr again. Today we're going to be doing 2.2 day 3. This is our last transformation that we're going to be covering. And this one's going to be on reflections. Okay, so a reflection, let's define that real quick. It's a type of transformation where we're going to say all points are, I don't want to say reflected because I'm just using the same word again. So I'm going to say symmetrical. All points are symmetrical from a line. Okay, that line is called the line of reflection. And we can make that line a variety of different things. So we're going to start with just talking about things like a horizontal and a vertical reflection. Okay, so here's my line. So here's the reflection itself is a horizontal for reflection because it's moving horizontally. You see how each point is symmetrical around there. And so what I mean is this distance and this distance are the same. This distance and that distance are the same, and then that distance and that distance are the same as each other. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which way I went. That's a horizontal reflection, but it's reflecting over a vertical line of reflection. Here's on the right side a vertical reflection that is reflecting over a horizontal line. So that's what this one is right here. Okay, when this reflection occurs, is it an isometry? Yes. Still have an isometry because the shape is retaining its size and shape. So we still have isometries with these. All right, so let's practice that. I'm going to reflect this L over the x-axis. So that means it's actually going to be doing a horizontal reflection. Now, when I look at this, all I have to do is just every point is going to be the same distance to the x-axis as it is to the reflection. So my pre-image for one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots away. So I'm going to go another 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 1 prime. 2 is only 2 spots away, so I'm going to go 1, 2 right here for 2 prime. And then 3 is 2 spots away, so I'm going to go 1, 2 down here for 3 prime. Okay, and it might be easier to see this if I get rid of some of those little extra marks. So let's get rid of that and that. Okay, so there is my image. Okay, I think I made that too far for that bottom point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's supposed to stop right there. Whoops. Ah. Okay. There we go. Okay. For the R, for this R over here, it's reflecting over the y-axis, which means it's doing a horizontal reflection. All right, so that means 1 is 1, 2, 3 points to the y-axis. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 points for 1 prime. 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for 4 prime. 2 is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down here for 3 prime. And then 5 is going to be right here for 5 prime. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is I want to put these coordinates in, and I want you to kind of look at, maybe there's might be another pattern. Think about what we did yesterday with our rotations. Sometimes there's a pattern that we can say from our reflections. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here because I want you to kind of reflect on that, and then we'll take a look at that in a second here. Okay, now that we're back. So you see here's the points that I put it there. I just wanted to get those down for you so you don't have to listen to me write it all out. So take a look at these, and I want you to see, can you figure out a pattern for reflecting over the x-axis and a pattern for reflecting over the y-axis? Okay, now that you're back, if I look at these points, if I am reflecting over the x-axis, okay, so again, if I'm reflecting over the x-axis, that means I'm doing a vertical reflection. Okay, the rule is this: if I have a point AB it's going to go to the point A, negative B. So I'm not changing the order in which I'm doing these, but I am going to just take the opposite value of the y. So if I do a horizontal one, okay, so if I do a horizontal reflection, which means I am going over the y-axis, that means that AB here is going to become negative A, positive B. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for both of these rules. Just like with rotations, it's up to you how you want to do it. I personally like to just do it on the graph because then I could see it, but I know if you don't have any paper or you don't have the paper in front of you, it might be easier to think of it with these rules. The other advantage or slight disadvantage of these rules is when we start dealing with other lines of reflection. So for example, here, I want to reflect this letter F over the line x equals 3, and then the P here is going to go over the line y equals negative 2. So x equals 3. So I'm going to start with graphing both of these lines. So x equals 3, remember that is a horizontal line at x equals 3. Y equals negative 2 is that horizontal line there. Okay? So again, just like before, the distance from the point to the line of reflection is the same as to the other image. So for every one of these cases, I'm going to count. So for 1, it's 2 spots away. So I'm going to go 2 spots here for 1 prime. 5 is at, well, so go down 2. So 2 is 2 spots away. So 2 prime is here. And then 3 is 2 spots away. So 3 prime is there. 5 is at 1, 2, 3, 4 spots away. I'm going to count that out as 1, 2, 3, 4 spots out here. And then 4 is 1, 2, 3 spots away. So it's going to come out to here for 4 prime. Okay. Now the other one, it's reflecting over y equals negative 2. So all I'm going to do is just do the same thing, but I'm going to go down. So I'll start at 3 because it's closer. 3 is 1 spot away, so 3 prime is over here. 2 is 1, 2, 3 spots away, so 1, 2, 3 spots away there. 1 is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots away. Okay. And then the last one is 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 spots away. 1, 2, 3, 4 spots away. So that is my horizontal reflection that's over the y equals negative 2 idea. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause it again just so you can see the video or see the numbers. I'm not going to reveal what the pattern is because this one's a little bit harder with trying to keep track of the pattern. Let's let you think about it though. Okay, so you can see that these are the points here. If you take a look at it, maybe there's a bit of a pattern. One thing I would highlight is that if you notice when I reflected in the across the vertical line, so I was doing a vertical reflection like that, then all of the y values actually stayed the same. Okay, the only thing that changed was the x values. Okay, same thing over here. When I reflected over the line y equals, so it reflects over a horizontal line, all the x values stayed the same, but the y values changed. Okay, just something to be aware of as you work through something like that. All right. Example 3, analyzing reflection. So when we look at this, if we were trying to identify a reflection, we want to look for where's that line of reflection. So where are all the points kind of the same space away? This one's a little bit easier because it's right here. It's my x-axis. And remember, the x-axis, I could actually label that with y equals 0. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention earlier, go back real quick. So if I reflect over the x-axis, that is also reflecting over the line y equals 0. If I reflect over the y-axis, I'm reflecting over the line x equals 0. So if you see those numbers, those are actually referring to their axes like that. All right. What is the line of reflection? We got the y-axis or x-axis, y equals 0. What is AB congruent to? So AB is right here. Since it's a isometry, when I reflect it down like this, it's going to be right down here. So DE is its corresponding congruent part. Okay. EF Put 2 tick marks there. That should correspond to BC there. Okay, so we're just analyzing some of the congruent parts now that we see that. All right, so I'm going to have you answer these last 3 questions, and I want you to go ahead and, you'll answer these 3 questions, and then you'll be able to kind of look at that reflections and reflect on that as it feels appropriate. Okay, so if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, come by my office hours. I will talk to you later for this class then.